Cop, whatever his name was trying to explain to you a different method besides Al-Biruni as to determine the radius of the Earth, but because you're an obnoxious, you wouldn't let him finish his sentence.
So he started off by explaining that the sun's going to go behind a physical sphere edge. He said the sun will go down.
And you wouldn't let him get the words out of his mouth.
So he said the sun would go down, and that's behind an assumed sphere edge.
He was going to time it. There's a way to do it using...
Behind a sphere edge, right?
Yeah!
Maybe you can say please.
No, feel free.
Please. Okay. So, in your model, the sun moves in a circular way around the plane, isn't it?
But did you say in our model? What model would that be?
In the flat Earth model.
I don't have a flat Earth model. Have I presented you with a model?
Well, in the flat Earth, if you want to skip the model.
You want to have a baseless generalization and stereotyping fallacy attached to this claim, do you? Do you know what those two things are?
No, okay. I will skip a model, but well, in the flat Earth.
Sorry, I'll stop you again. You're going to get yelled at pretty quick if you don't listen to what I've just said. What model have I presented to you that you are now debunking?
The flat Earth model.
When did I present it to you? Or claim it as the world we're living in? When did I do that?
I mean, this debate is called flat Earth debate.
Yeah? That's not a model, that's an aspect.
So,
stop!
What?
Don't start talking the moment I start responding to you. You will get shouted at. You've asked it to not be shouted at, just don't talk when I talk. It's that simple. When I say stop, it's because I've said we don't claim a model. What model am I claiming? What have I presented? And you've said, well, flat earthers. I've said that's a baseless generalization and stereotyping fallacy, which you completely ignored and said, well, the flat earth, yet the same damn thing applies. That's a generalization, stereotyping fallacy. What model have I presented to you that you're now debunking? I'll tell you, I haven't. Flat earth is an aspect, not a model.
So how do you want me to say it?
What? How do you want me to give you... So you're going to ask and then talk as soon as you finish asking me the question. How do I give you a straw man to burn? Oh, I don't.
So how do I refer the flat earth?
Do whatever you like, but don't assert that I've got a model of it and how the sun's working on it and you're going to debunk this crap that I haven't presented. Because presumably someone else has presented some crap model to you. And you think that means all flat earthers adhere to whoever stupid idiot has said they've got a model of the world we live in. Now, I don't care who's presented it or if they're a flat earther. It ain't me. That's for damn sure. So how do you want to pull apart this straw man that I don't hold up? You won't. Do you want to make any claims? If not, sit down and shut up. If you've got nothing to offer other than to try and pull apart an argument I don't make, then sit down and shut up. Do you have anything else or not?
I want you to answer my question. Just that.
I make no claims. I've answered you. Are you deaf?
I know.
So, have you got nothing else? Or did you want to make a claim about it, given you piped up about it? I asked about the distance to it based on a heliocentric assertion that there's a 93 million mile sun based on a radius value, and a Christian Huygens assumption that Venus has the same radius as Earth when assumed with a geometric tangent point horizon that we've debunked. We took you through that, in case you forgot. Now, upon assuming that Venus has the same radius value as an Earth that's assumed to be a sphere, they apply Kepler's third law to give them 93 million miles. That's your claim, because I know damn well you're a globe-believing fundy, so you definitely aren't being stereotyped when I ascribe your 93 million miles to the sun, to you. Me, on the other hand, I don't make any claims about it. You do. You think it's 93 million miles away based on an R value that we debunked when you were here last. So we'll continue from where we left off, given that you've piped up for no reason, and you definitely do have a 93 million mile distance to your sun. So, given that that sun distance is based on an R value, that's assumed for a sphere Earth and a Venus with the same assumed R value, which we debunked because you can't get a tangent to it, as conceded last time you were here, do you also concede that that 93 million miles distance is wrong? Because it's based on an R that's been debunked,
No.
as you conceded last time you were here.
Can I say how do we get the R value? Because the other time I couldn't talk.
Sorry, you told us about standing up and sitting down at a horizon and acquiring a dip angle measurement. We've had a presentation on it in our pre-show today. I also trimmed out your concessions when you pointed out that the tangent, which is a straight line, can't be acquired from a refracted horizon. You made it very specifically clear in terms of concession. So no, we've already debunked your claim that you can acquire an R value. It's the Al-Biruni story of dip angle. We've debunked it. And because we've debunked it, it also debunks all of the distances to all of the celestial objects, including the sun you wanted to talk about. Do you understand? Or do I need to repeat it 10 times with you telling me you want another bash at R when you've already failed and conceded how big a failure you were in that regard? I failed, you stated. Yeah. You can't get a tangent to a refracted horizon, you stated. You made it explicitly clear that you understood where you'd failed, how you'd failed, and you even apologised for failing. Not etc, etc, etc.
I understand everything you said. You're right. I failed at attempting proving the Earth is round. The horizon is not a physical tangent point because it has lots of refraction. You have won.
Now, given that that measurement gets you R, I need you to now understand that you can't get the distance to the sun either, because that's based on R.
Just wanted to say the other day I couldn't, that you don't need a straight line in order to calculate the R value. You don't need to get the geometric horizon, because the thing you're doing is you're measuring when the sun goes down entirely, when you are laid on the ground, and where you are and when you are stood up. So you are measuring.
Sorry, this is the exact same shit claim you made last time, and we spent about 2 hours on.
No.
Yes, it is exactly the same claim, you circle jerking fundy. Do you think I have amnesia?
You measure with a tangent.
Oh, so the tangent that we're going to be needing then, so the tangent you've just referred to is a straight line, you complete clown. So we will need that tangent you just mentioned then. That would be a straight line, but we don't need it. The tangent that you're talking about. Perfectly content to talk about the bloody tangent in the geometry. That is the straight line you're now saying you don't need, you bonehead.
You're not making any triangle with...
Sorry, you do need a straight line, a tangent. You've just mentioned a tangent. That will be required. Are we going to brush past the fact you've just said we don't need a straight line and then mentioned a tangent, which is absolutely needed in your geometry? Maybe brush past this because you're getting pummeled by a flat earther who you obviously feel is stupid, when I'm pointing out that a tangent, the one you just mentioned, is a straight line, is required in earth curve geometry, and you're telling us how it's not required. Do you want to continue telling me how a tangent doesn't need to be straight? Or that it's not needed?
I'm saying that you don't need a straight line in order to calculate R, because you're not making any triangle with the sun.
What?
Do you understand?
I'll just bring up a diagram of Al-Biruni doing just exactly that, so we can show by your own rhetoric just how stupid you are. Oh, what do you know? Al-Biruni's derivation by way of dip angle on screen for my audience. This dick seems to think that, no, we don't need a tangent, even though this straight line between A and C is a tangent to a geometric tangent point horizon. It's definitely needed by Al-Biruni to get R. So you were saying you're now trying to argue how you don't need it, but you do. I assure you, it's this straight line in geometry called a tangent. It's straight. It's definitely needed. You just don't have it anymore. And you know what that proves, my friend? Earth's not a sphere. And that must be very painful for you as a sphere believer. And as a result, you're now arguing that tangents aren't straight and they're not needed to be, making you thick.
I'm not saying the tangents aren't straight. I'm saying...
Oh, really? You said it wasn't needed?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, you said it wasn't needed. It's this straight line in my depiction by Al-Biruni to get R. You then said it wasn't making any measurements of triangles, and yet R's being derived from it. So, yeah, tangent needed. You haven't got one, though. You conceded that yesterday or the day before.
Okay, so the thing I was saying Was that
Okay, so is that as big a concession? No, we'll hold you to that point, my friend. Not okay, so. So you understand that the horizon's got to be a tangent point with a straight line to do this R measurement. You understand that, right?
your head when you are late to the center?
Sorry, you're
and
not
then,
listening to me, my
your
friend.
head when
You're not
up
listening. You're
to
just
the center.
talking. You've turned into
So,
a babbling fundy.
Since you're not
You've
making one
turned
triangle with the
into
sign,
a
you don't
jabbering,
need the
babbling
tangent
fundamentalist
because
zealot
you're
who won't
measuring
shut up.
the time.
So he's gone into chant mode. That's what happens when we break them. They just chant.
Time comes down.
Can you stop
when you are
chanting?
late, and
Stop chanting.
Then, when you
Can you
are
stop
up,
chanting?
and then the sun comes down.
Hello?
So
Can you stop
that
chanting?
Way, since the Earth
Oh my
rotates,
God, this is what happens when you
can
break
get a
them. When you
triangle,
break
and,
them, they just
doing
chant.
some math
Why are
that
you chanting?
It's really hard to explain by
Stop
voice chat,
chanting.
So I can leave
Coppo,
you with,
am I going to have to kick you out?
how you do it.
Coppo,
No, dude,
Yeah,
shut up.
Coppo, are you just going to decide that when you've lost, you're going to take over the mic and chant? Shut up. You've said, okay, so. Okay, so. Yeah, in your maths, to get R, you need a tangent. It's a straight line. It's on screen.
No.
No. So this line on screen in Alberuni's measurement, no. Yes.
I mean, I don't know how Alberuni did it.
Oh, why are you saying no then, you arrogant prick? So even though I've got it on screen for an audience and we've discussed it hundreds of times, and you haven't got the slightest clue what this even is, you're going to tell me no? You arrogant prick! Sit down and shut the fuck up! You ignorant twat!
There's another weak
Sit
measure.
down and shut the fuck up! You stupid mong! You don't know what Alberuni is? Why are you even here? What a bloody outrage! Tell me no, ignorant dick! Get the fuck out of my hangout! If you're going to come here and debate me, you better damn well know who Alberuni is. Yeah? And if you don't, go and find out. And when I tell you what he is and what he's using, in this instance, a straight tangent that this clown who doesn't even know what Alberuni's doing is telling me can be bent, it doesn't need to be straight. He's thick. Absolutely incompetent, ignorant, doesn't understand the argument. Yeah, has got the gall again after telling us he wouldn't return. In the comments, I'm not going back again, Nathan, so rude. No, you're a thicko. Doesn't understand what Alberuni's doing, even though it's on screen. It's absolutely being discussed. Yeah, don't understand that you need an R for your sun assertion at 93 million miles. But you're going to tell me we don't need a bloody tangent. All right, what, the tangent in your geometric Earth curve maths that was deriving R by Alberuni in his straight line, not curved, that you conceded you can't get on a globe anymore. Yeah, that's going to leave you in cognitive pain, chanting through every word I say, and then telling me no when I say Alberuni's got a tangent. What's Alberuni? Well, I don't really know. But I'm perfectly content to challenge you on it because you're a flat earther and I'm a globe believer. Therefore, I am obviously right. No, wank stain. You're not right. You're on a globe. Therefore, absolutely wrong. And we're proving it. You just don't like it.
Cop, whatever his name was trying to explain to you a different method besides Alberuni as to determine the radius of the Earth. But because you're an obnoxious twat, you wouldn't let him finish his sentence. I mean, how can you get through life being...
So he started off by explaining that the sun's going to go behind a physical sphere edge. He said the sun will go down.
And you wouldn't let him get the words out of his mouth.
So he said the sun would go down, and that's behind an assumed sphere edge.
He was going to time it. There's a way to do it using...
Behind a sphere edge, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't...
So I've already pummeled it, and you're coming to do the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pummeled it. When he said sun goes down, I caught the begging the question fallacy that is assuming a physical sphere edge.
You're just socially inept.
Sorry, you're just going to tell me I'm socially inept when I pulled it apart for you and you've conceded? Yeah, sun going behind a sphere edge, tangent point, horizon. Behind a sphere edge, right?
Yeah.
Debunked by the Black Swan. I've pummeled him, and now I'm pummeling you.
Haven't? No, you're not. We're using...
Behind a sphere edge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. You don't have to like it. Going down behind a sphere edge, Rumpus? Yes, Nathan.
Yeah.
Oh, so we're assuming the horizon's a physical sphere edge then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I pummeled this once. I'm pummeling it now. You think that by getting the same begging the question crap in really early whilst calling me an idiot, that you're going to get away with begging the question of a physical sphere edge?
Yeah.
We've debunked it.
I've no idea what you...
You stuttering twat. Yeah, I have. I've debunked it with the Black Swan. I did it for him. I'm doing it for you. You don't have to like it.
Some guy's incredibly polite to you. He was trying to describe...
Suck my balls, you fuckwit fundies. I don't give a shit how polite you are. Come here and beg the question that the horizon's an Earth curve edge, and I will teabag you. You can moan and bitch about how impolite I am while I teabag you, but I'm still going to teabag you after pointing out that the horizon is not a sphere edge. We only have one horizon, and the horizon in your geometric sphere edge mathematics, labelled Earth curve, is a tangent point, and we've debunked it. So we're not going to have Earth curve getting in the way of the sun and you timing it, because you're just assuming something we've already debunked and trying to slip it in nice and early as the title. Yeah, the sun's going behind the Earth curve, whittled in with the word going down. Now, I caught it when he did it, I caught it when you do it, but what are you going to do, call me obnoxious and tell me how polite he was? He can suck my balls.
If you met the people you encounter
Get the
on
fuck
this,
out of my hangout. You're not
This is
listening to a
great,
fucking
you
word
guys.
I say.
Can
Rumpus
totally
isn't
hear
listening to a
everything.
single word I say. He's just chattering and chanting, so he doesn't have to listen to how bad he and his compadre got teabagged for the second time in a row. Assuming the sun's going behind a physical sphere edge, timing it to get yet assuming a sphere edge horizon. I pummeled it then, I'll pummel it now, I'll pummel it every time you try and pull the wool over our eyes. It won't happen. Chanting through me while I talk to my audience isn't going to happen either. Just takes one word if anyone's watching. Going down, right? Down. That's all it takes, because that implies the physicality of the sun going behind an Earth curve edge they're assuming. They needed to drop it in once right at the beginning, and everyone's begging the question that the horizon's a physical obstruction, the sun's going behind it, and we're going to take timings for it. So long as we're all under the assumption that the horizon's a physical Earth curve edge for this example, yeah, not going to happen. But Rumpus can call me impolite as his rebuttal and tell me that, oh, you're so obnoxious to all these fundamentalist religious zealots and their dogged determination to beg the question of sphere edge horizons. Yeah, they're just going to get told to go fuck themselves. That's what we get told as flat earthers. We're assumed to be dumb, talked down to and belittled like nobody else in this entire plane that we live on. We are treated worse than any of them. Yeah, I should respect a bit of politeness while he chants through me, which he absolutely did. Chanted through me. What? Chanted that he's going to assume Earth curve and I should have heard him out? No. As a flat earther, I am going to be so rude when I'm right, because we've dealt with it for what, 6 years? Of nothing but ridicule? Now we're in a position of power, we're right. We can debunk your assumption of R. Your assumption that the horizon's a physical sphere edge for the sun to go behind for your timings. Yeah, that already depends on you assuming a sphere. And we'll pummel it every single time. And if you think you're going to get any sympathy that I'm rude to you while I do it, tough. You won't. Maybe you should have been a bit more polite to me for the last 6 years. Then maybe I'd be a bit more polite to you fundy morons who think you're on a sphere. But you don't deserve politeness. You deserve to be told off. And that is precisely what I do here. And it angers you all greatly to the point where you feel compelled to come in and tell me off. That's how you all frame your visits. I'm going to tell Nathan what's what because he's so arrogant and doesn't understand the Earth's a sphere. And then you come here and end up with my nuts on your face. Now, you don't have to like it, but that is what will happen every single time. And if you want to moan that I'm not going to let you chant that the sun's going behind an assumed sphere edge, then tough. I'll just have the White Knight Rumpus come in and moan and bleat that, oh, you're not listening to him beg the question. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I pulled it apart, and then he tried to chant through me because he didn't like it. Because he doesn't like a flat earther telling him how wrong he is, and where he's assuming R that's debunked, and where he's using that assumption to assume a horizon that's physical, also debunked. And when I point it out, all Rumpus can do is the exact same thing, which is chant, like the other guy did. But he's doing it intentionally because he knows damn well that I've already ripped the argument apart once for the guy he's defending, and I've done it for him, and got the disclaimer in and the concession. Is the sun going behind a sphere edge, Rumpus? Yes. That's his loss. From that point on, all he can do is fundy mute the crap out of me and bleat that I'm rude. Yeah, like the other guy. That was his defense. The other guy's defense. Nathan's so rude. Yeah, and I really enjoy it when I'm right. Because what are you going to do in the comments section? Tell me that you do have a tangent, that we don't need one, some of the double speak crap in terms of the argument, and then moan that I'm rude. Yeah, like anybody gives a crap when they're listening to the argument.